And welcome back. It's Jason Walter here, and thank you so much for joining me in today's video, which is April 17th, by the way. So today it was announced that builder confidence for building new single-family houses has increased for the fourth consecutive month this year. And according to the Mortgage News Daily as of today, it says here that builder confidence increased due to an existing home shortage, and also that caused new home sales to increase as well. So more or less what they're saying right here is that because we have historically low inventory levels for existing houses, in other words, not a new house, that's causing home buyers to actually move to buying brand new houses right now, which is increasing builder confidence. And speaking of new home sales, take a look at this. This is according to the US Census Bureau on our good Uncle Fred's website right here. So new single family home sales was 640,000 this February, according to the most recent data we have from the Census Bureau. That's on a seasonally adjusted annualized basis though, 640,000. This is actually the lowest levels looking at pre-COVID levels going back all the way until May of 2019, when at that time there was 620,000 on a seasonally adjusted annualized rate. So even though new home sales have been increasing for 3 consecutive months, as you can see right there, the current levels right now are the lowest levels going back to May of 2019 when looking at pre-COVID levels. And here's the actual report regarding builder confidence according to the National Association of Home Builders. It says builders remain cautiously optimistic in April as limited resale inventory, in other words, a lack of or a decrease of housing supply of existing houses, that helped to increase demand in the new home market, even as the building industry continues to grapple with building material issues. I'll touch on inventory levels here just a little bit here. But I also want to mention this as well because they say here that builder confidence for building new single-family houses increased in April. It rose only 1 point to 45, according to the National Association of Home Builders and the Wells Fargo Housing Market Index, or their HMI. There's a couple of things I do want to mention regarding this. As a note right here, anything below 50 implies that home builders are actually pessimistic regarding the housing market for building new single-family houses. So builders are pessimistic overall, yet their confidence levels have been increasing for 4 consecutive months. The best way I can share this with you guys is to take a look at this. This is some data I pulled from their website here, or the Builders Association website. Again, the 4th consecutive month of increases here, but an index of 45 when looking at pre-COVID levels. This is actually tied for the lowest levels going back to May of 2014. So even though builder confidence has been increasing every single month this year, we're still tied for the lowest levels going back to May of 2014, which of course says a lot. And by the way, just for comparison's sake, confidence for building houses actually decreased every single month last year. In other words, this January was the first increase in the last 13 months at that time. I also want to share how this impacts you. If you guys are looking to buy a brand new house or an existing house, this really impacts our housing market in general though. So look at this. This is actually a chart showing their index, again, which is their housing market index, or their HMI, the blue line right here. And also this red dotted line is for single family housing starts. A housing start is a beginning phase in the construction of building a brand new house. That's a housing start. So this is on a seasonally adjusted annualized basis. But as you can see right here, when builder confidence is increasing, so do housing starts. In contrast again, when confidence decreases, so do housing starts. So this goes back to 2012. I actually have a better chart to show you. This is actually going back to January of 1985. As you can see, it's not perfect, but as confidence increases, so do housing starts. After the Great Recession, of course, their confidence absolutely plummeted. And of course, housing starts for single families actually decreased as well. And of course, ever since 2012-ish, builder confidence has been increasing, and of course, so has housing starts as well. Something I do want to mention is that even though builder confidence has been increasing every single month this year, of course, it's only increasing by a very small amount. And on top of that, when looking at single-family housing starts, we're still at very low levels as well. So according to the Census Bureau, and this, by the way, is on a seasonally adjusted annualized basis, for single-family housing starts for February, the most recent month we have, I believe tomorrow, the 18th, is when the Census Bureau reports March's numbers. And of course, I'll make a video for that as well. But at 830,000 right now, when looking at pre-COVID levels, this is the lowest levels going back to February of 2019. Additionally, this relatively low level of builder confidence right now is also decreasing the number of permits being authorized or permits being pulled as well. So this is also according to the US Census Bureau for February. So permits approved for building new single-family houses is down 35.5% this February compared to February of 2022. Also, for housing starts compared to 1 year ago, we're also down by 31.6%, with the biggest decrease in the West, down by 45.1%. Going back to the National Association of Home Builders survey right here, or report, I should say, their quote here saying we have a limited resale inventory. In other words, a limited amount of houses that are existing for sale. Here is the latest trends we have from Realtor.com. Here's active listing count. This is the amount of houses to buy. As of March, inventory levels are up by 59.9% compared to 2022. Compared to March of 2022, the number of houses for sale is up by 60%, which of course may sound like a lot. But look at May of 2022, which is right here. We had at that time approximately 350,000 houses for sale. Now we have 562,000. Look at pre-COVID levels. Here's 2017, 2019, and here's 2018 in orange. Back at this time, we had around 1.1 million houses for sale. Now we only have about 562,000. Therefore, we have approximately 50% fewer houses for sale compared to 2017 through 2019 right now, even though there's approximately 60% more compared to last year. So that's number one. Here's number two, is that inventory levels have been decreasing every single month this year. Entirely normal to see decreases in January and February, like we saw back in 2017 and 2018 and 19. But look at those years. For March, we saw a slight increase of inventory levels each March for those years. Whereas this year, inventory is still going down. And of course, the reason for that is this right here. New listings down 20.1%. So new listings are below last year's levels, but also below 2017 through 2021. In fact, new listings are down about 30% compared to pre-COVID levels right now. And of course, the reason why people are not listing their houses for sale is because they do not want to give up their historically low rate, as we can see in this data here. Going back to the survey here, it says the HMI survey shows that the share of builders reducing home prices continues to trend down, as 30% said they reduced their asking prices in April compared to 31% in March and February, and 35% in December, and 36% in November. So in December and November, it was around 35 to 36% of home builders said they're reducing their asking prices, whereas this April, it's only 30%. On top of that, the average price reduction in April was 6%, the same in February and March, but lower than December's 8%. However, though, it said the share of builders who are offering incentives in order to drive home sales actually increased though. So this April, it was 59%, but it was 57% in February and 58% in March. However, though, it's still lower than last December's levels at 62%. Also, changing gears slightly here, if you guys recall, I mentioned that the fallout of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank may actually have some impact regarding construction loans in the future. But thus far, it hasn't seemed to be impacted or impacting home builders so far. So for example, according to Rick Palacios Jr., he's with John Burns Real Estate Consulting. He tweeted the following here. Given banking volatility, we asked home builders about any new restrictions on construction and land acquisition financing. No impact to date for 48% of the home builders who responded to the survey here. So 48%, so there's no changes here, whereas 16% said they have higher rates on debt, and 12% said they had higher equity requirements. And that actually kind of reiterates what the National Association of Home Builders also is reporting as well, because for those loans, they say here there's not a significant amount of evidence thus far that pressure on the regional banking system has made this lending environment for builders and land developers worse. All right, if you guys are still watching this video, I appreciate you. Please hit the like button, of course, as well. But I also want to provide a summary because that was a lot to cover. And it's kind of hard to take a step back and figure out how does this impact current home buyers right now. So here's what I came up with here. Historically low inventory levels for pre-existing houses, in other words, not new houses. So historically low inventory levels could be causing buyers to move to new home construction, especially as home builders have been offering incentives in order to drive home sales. Of course, builders are offering incentives due to the giant increase in rates we've seen over the past couple of years, and also because housing inventory levels for new houses is still very high. So for example, based on my own analysis, the inventory levels for brand new houses is at its highest pre-COVID levels going back to May of 2008. In addition, low resale inventory is boosting builder confidence every single month so far this year. But not by very much, because April is tied for the lowest pre-COVID levels going back to May of 2014. Therefore, this is not likely to cause a surge in permits being pulled or housing starts for brand new single-family houses. Because of course, builder sentiment is still very much historically low, and mortgage rates have been still elevated as well. So rates have been at or above 6% since mid-September last year. And also at the time of filming this video, which is the 17th of April, average rates for people with great credit, according to the Mortgage News Daily, is at 6.6%. Also, the Fed and many agencies, such as Fannie Mae, are predicting a recession for later this year. In other words, builders don't want to get caught with a surplus of supply that they cannot sell. Meanwhile, new home construction sales in the US have increased only slightly over the past 3 months. This is based on contracts signed and or a deposit taken from a home buyer. But what's your biggest takeaways from today's video? Please leave me a comment below. Also, if you guys got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Of course, I appreciate you. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.